This is their second Tier 1 tournament that they play with this exact roster, and their second championship they are taking. So ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to talk to one of the winners. Everybody please welcome on Quinn.
Oh, hi,
What the heck? How do you guys do this?
I don't know, mine didn't go.
Oh my God, it smells like smoke in
I
here.
don't know what.
Oh, Jesus, this is all for you, Quinn.
Wait, we have.
Quinn, congratulations
That's
on
for
a
you, buddy.
well-deserved victory. That was an insane grand finals, and I know you are a man of many words, so I'm just going to give you the floor for at the start of this. So anything you have to say after that performance?
I mean, honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is just Liquid is an insanely good team. I think the 2 games that we lost, they absolutely mopped the floor with us. And the 3rd game was some crazy comeback that I honestly can't believe we won that game. That was one of those stressful games I've played in years. When we won that game, I was like about to have a heart attack. I was sweating from every orifice.
Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear a secret?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Did you notice that there was an item missing from Insania's inventory halfway through the game?
No.
Game 3. Was game 3, right? Yeah,
Yeah, that was game 3.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't
Okay,
know.
okay. Well, let's set the scene. From our perspective, Liquid was winning that game, and they were winning most of the fights. And then all of a sudden, there were 3 fights in a row that they didn't win. And there was one factor that goes into consideration of that because, you know, players like to be really clever about dropping items and then making space and stuff. Insania dropped his Holy Locket on Chen. On the floor, just random. It wasn't deleted.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a rough one.
It took about 10 minutes before Nisha pinged it out because it was still there because you guys also didn't see it.
Oh, really? So he just left it on the ground. He didn't
just
break
left it on the
he just
ground.
forgot it.
And he used it before
I
that. We
see.
know that he used it. So he had it. And then we saw on his camera, he's like, could have sworn I had a Holy Locket. And he queues it up again.
That's really funny.
It was pretty funny. But it was a clutch game. You guys clutched it out anyway. It was a great performance. Sorry, we interrupted you with our little secret here. But
no, I appreciate the secret. That's a spicy one. I didn't notice. I had no idea. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of crap that happens in finals. Every once in a while, there's a final where like one team is really dominant and just like stomps the other team and it's not close. But when it's close like this, I think the Dota sort of, it changes. Devolved is not the right word, but it changes into something else. Each game like morphs. You know, they first pick Underlay, right?
Yeah.
Like you can see that there's a clear, you know, progression of how the series is going. So Dota's always a bit weird, especially in Game 5, but just in finals in general.
it was absolutely fantastic. We saw the cameras, of course, at the end at the GG, but I also like to hear it from you. Like, what were the voice comms like in that final game and towards those final moments?
I mean, the end of a tournament where you know you're gonna win, or just the series in general, the celebratory lap where they're like half the heroes are dead, and you kind of walk around, you hit their base, and they can't do anything. That's like the nicest part of the game, where you know you've won, and you just get to relish it for a little bit. I will win in a few seconds. That's a nice period of time.
How were you able to enjoy that? Because of course it's hard compared to Lima. You guys are on separate locations, right?
Yeah, we are not in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously can't celebrate quite the same way, and some of us fly out tomorrow morning for Berlin, so yeah, I think Tofu is going to go pack right now, but I have to pack too. So yeah, it's not quite the same, but you know, it's always nice to win. It's nice to show that we weren't like a patch team, that we were, you know, able to adapt and, you know, and change things up even with the game changing a decent amount. And I think a lot of the stuff we were really good at being, you know, tweaked or changed. So that's nice to show as well.
What do you credit your adaptation, your fast adaptation to? Because it is, you know, just yesterday you lost 0-2 to Liquid and it wasn't close. And then today you show up and it's like, you guys are a whole different beast.
I mean, I think we did learn a lot from yesterday's games. I think we get baited by some random stuff, and we're like in too much on our own heads, and we sort of stopped playing Dota in a way. So we sort of tried to rein that back in, and just play like normal Dota. I think we definitely just played normal Dota against Spotify. And against Liquid, I think we tried to do the same thing. And some of those games were a bit unclean, and we had some questionable drafts. I think Liquid was ahead of us in this series in a lot of ways, and we just managed to claw our way back into the series. Because I think in some ways they were ahead of us in terms of some understanding things in this series.
Well, in the final game where it mattered, you guys played incredibly clean Dota. And of course, we talk about that a lot. And we also have more questions for you, but not just from me.
Oh my God, me?
Yeah, Sheep wants to ask.
Buddy, what the hell was that quap? Explain.
I mean, I don't know. That game's not 100% on me, I think. I didn't play overly well, of course. But that game's just hard. And the quap pick is bad, but there's rationale behind it. The rationale is not amazing, but it's also not horrific. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You know, I'd argue the sniper was worse than the quap in terms of my impact. I mean, it was close. They were both pretty zero. So what can you do?
Do you think quap is good then? Because I feel like we haven't seen her in the meta for a really long time.
I don't know. I look at the trends page, and this hero's win rate is up by like 5% or something. But I also haven't seen anyone playing it, so I was like, this hero has to be okay, right? It's like winning way more games than, I don't know, felt the exact same.
I have the answer. It's only in my bracket because people are just surprised by what the hero does.
I see.
I'm
All right,
not
that's
even
good
kidding.
to know. I appreciate the PSA.
And then who would you say was the MVP of this tournament on your team? It can be yourself.
I think this last, I don't know about the tournament. The tournament's hard to say. This tournament's really long. It was like a DPC almost. This series, I think probably Ace. I think his play on the Doom and all the Doom games was really consistent. I think he had a really hard game in that Underlord game, and he like still had super huge impact and had like good item timings and stuff. I think Ace in general is just an extremely consistent player. But honestly, like, it's hard to give credit to just one person, because I think all of us were pretty resilient despite having like hard lanes and hard games to be able to pull it back. So if anything, giving it to one person is a bit of a disservice.
That's fair, and I respect the answer, and it's a good one.
Hey, Big Q, good to see you.
What's up, Big J?
So I got a quote from somebody that I'd like you to respond to. This is from FartSucker69 on Reddit, and he said, Quinn, more like quit. This guy goes down mid in every pub, and he will never do anything in pro Dota career. What is your response to FartSucker69?
I mean, facts don't care about feelings, you know. Clearly, that's not the case. I mean, I do go AFK a decent amount, but I do win too. So, you know, maybe one leads to the other. Maybe you should try it. Hey, try it at home. See what happens.
Yeah, that makes sense, Quinn. Go ahead and try that, guys. Second question, what are you going to do to reset before the Berlin Major? What sort of purge are you going to do? Are you going to fast or exercise, go to the gym?
Definitely not going to fast. Exercising is also probably low on the probability list, as I'm sure you can tell. I think the replays probably need to be watched a bit. That's not necessarily relaxing, but I think the major's really close, and I think some stuff about our gameplay definitely needs to be improved. Because, you know, we're not qualified at TI at 3 points, right? So we need to perform at the major so we get enough points to go to TI. And also, it's just fun to win games. So, I mean, I generally don't really get burned out, so I'm pretty okay. But, you know, I'll probably take the rest of the night off, and, you know, maybe I'll watch the VODs, see people typing Pog and Feels Good Man clap or whatever else, you know. And just chill. I'm kind of hungry, so maybe I order some Mickey D's. Yeah, we'll see.
Sounds like a wonderful evening.
It does. Hey, Quinn, how's it going? Congratulations. It's great to see you hogging off mid. It's always exciting to see you play. One thing I want to say is, I don't know how aware you guys are of the webcam and stuff. In Game 4, we had a lot of shots of you with your head in your hands and sort of swearing and looking exasperated. How do you personally reset between that state where you're thinking, this is the worst thing ever, why did I choose Dota as the game I want to play, to destroying in Game 5? What's your personal reset?
I mean, to be honest, it's pretty easy in situations like, or it's not easy, but I think a lot of times the play in situations like that is to just write it off as, hey, this game is kind of on draft and lanes, and you like figure out what the problem is, and then you talk to them about like whatever this problem was. And if you feel like you've come to a decent solution, then it's honestly not so hard to move on. Like if you have that core belief in yourself as a player, then one game shouldn't rock your entire world. Or, you know, like one series, like when we lose to Liquid or whatever, right? Like we look at the games, we assess what the problem is, we try and fix it. And I think as a team, we're skilled enough that we're quite good at fixing problems. So if we ever have a bad game like that, or a game where we just get like clapped, I think we're very good at looking at the problems and fixing it. And people don't lose confidence because we have shown a track record of being good at fixing problems.
Oh, can I build off that?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So like in game 4 then, for example, were you continuing to play without calling GG because you saw like a timing where you could potentially come back, or were you using the time to like talk about the next game?
I mean, I don't think we saw a timing to come back, but I don't know, it's a finals. You just sort of play for a while. I mean, we're just getting massacred everywhere. We have like a 0% chance to win for a really long time, but yeah, I don't know, you just sort of play anyways because it's final. I mean, I was thinking some about, there's some, I mean, once we get past the point where it's just like pure massacring, like there's nothing else, I started to think about some of the heroes, or like how we wanted to change the draft for next game a little bit, but we weren't like discussing it out loud.
Okay.
All right, Quinn, we're gonna let you go to celebrate by packing your bag and having Mackie D's. Apparently, thank you so much for taking the time to come on. I'm gonna, as last thing, just still give you the chance to say anything you want. Could be shouting people out. Could be doing literally anything you want.
Could be a message to Reddit.
Could be a message for anybody.
Nah, Reddit knows how I feel about them. That's a I don't want to beat a dead horse at this point. No, I mean, shout out to CY. I didn't give him any credit for, you know, being he's 100% win rate, LAN win rate coach, or tournament win rate coach. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
He's really good.
Shout out to people who support me behind the scenes. I wouldn't be anything without people who've helped me along the way, and without people who can, you know, support me and keep me from losing my mind playing this insane game that tears your soul apart. So yeah, just thanks to people who help us and me personally. I would be nothing. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Quinn. Congratulations once again, and we'll see you soon in Berlin.
Congrats.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.